that you are too blessed not to be thankful. That when I look back over my life and think things over, at 40, I can share the sentiments of the songwriter. All of my good days outweigh my bad days. I got a reason to tell God thank you. And if we do a survey, we all may not have the same reason, but everybody in here got a reason just to tell God thank you. That's why I miss old school church. New school church is complicated. I got to give you a whole backstory on why God is good. Old school church, it was very simple. He woke me up this morning, clothed me in my right mind, gave me the activities of my limbs. They knew that every morning you got another day, you should pause and just tell God. And that's why I love Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays because it makes even the most selfish person at least say the word thanks. I want to talk about gratitude, and I want you to take really, really good notes. Put this in your notes. Gratitude isn't a reaction to blessings. Gratitude is the recognition of blessings. Gratitude isn't a reaction to blessings. Gratitude is the recognition of blessing. Most people think that I get the blessing, then I feel grateful. I get the blessing, then I feel grateful. But that makes gratitude a response to what you receive. Biblically, you might want to write this: gratitude is a response to what you recognize. Gratitude isn't a response to what you receive. It's a response to what you recognize. If gratitude is only a reaction, then I only thank God when something big happens. If gratitude is only a reaction, then I only feel blessed when something new shows up. If gratitude is only a reaction, then the only time I worship is when I feel like I'm winning. But if gratitude is a recognition, it means I realize I'm blessed while I'm still in process. And I don't know who I'm preaching to, but there are two types of people sitting on your row. Some of y'all need something to happen in order for you to be grateful. But for some of us, I don't need nothing new to happen. I'm still trying to catch up with what has all. I wish I had 3 praisers at the first service who can just think back on how good God's been to you and say, here it is, if he don't do nothing else, he has already done enough. That's why I like this service a little bit more than all the other services, because at the other services, we have to pump them and pry them, and it's almost like a pep rally. Lift your hands, clap your hands, tell God thank you. But when you get up at 8 in the morning, you brought everything, but one thing you did leave at home is your praise. And I wish I had 7 people who can say, God, before I praise you for what you're about to do, I'm gonna take some time and praise you for what you've already done. He's already made a way out of no way, already blessed me, already covered my family, already held me together. You ought to just touch 5 people and shout, I got a reason. Gratitude is not a reaction. That's why anxiety, that's why depression, that's why low self-esteem used to hit me so much. It was because I thought something had to happen in order for me to tell God thank you. I thought something had to happen in order for me to express gratitude. But hear me, gratitude is not a reaction. It is recognition. This is why gratitude does not start when something changes around you. Michael, gratitude starts when something clears within you. This is why David tells us, here it is, put it on the screen, bless the Lord. Oh, my soul. I could really preach that right there. Bless the Lord, Michael. Oh, my soul. But here's the part that we skip over, and forget not. I need you to underline that in your notes. This is the only part I'm gonna get to today. Forget not. We're gonna shout next week. We're only gonna sit on this one line right here. He says, bless the Lord, oh my soul. This is good. And forget not. He is not saying, Lord, give me something to praise you for. He's saying, soul, don't act like God did not do enough already. All right, y'all being deep. Y'all being deep. We was emotional last week. Let's just have church today, okay? Look at what he says. Put it on the screen. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Now you missed that. Who's talking? David. Who is David talking to? Himself. He's talking to the him within him. What is the soul, the mind, the spirit, the heart? He said, okay, I can feel depression, Michael. I can feel anxiety, Michael. I can feel me getting low. So he says, I'm gonna have a conversation with myself. Because some of us have matured to a place that I ain't got time to wait on you to encourage me. David is also the one who said, if you don't do it, I've learned how to encourage. So he says, bless the Lord, Michael. Oh, my soul. I ain't preaching to everybody. I'm only preaching to 3 of y'all, and I come to make an announcement that my frustration with the church is that y'all act like God ain't been good. I'm gonna preach to 3 of y'all. David is telling his soul, don't act like God ain't been good to you. And 5 of y'all sitting in here, I can feel you on the verge of a pity party. It's Thanksgiving, you single, you trying to figure out where you gonna eat. It's getting cold, you ready to cuddle. It's Christmas, you trying to figure out how you gonna pay for stuff. Now at the end of the year, you sitting there like, this ain't been the year that I thought I was gonna have, and it seemed like it's all, shut up. Don't act like God ain't kept you all this time. And I know you got 3 degrees and you want to take notes. I took notes last Sunday. Every now and again, I got to command my spirit to bless the Lord. I wish I had 500 people who would just give God an already praise. I'm praising him because he's already good. I'm praising him because he's already kind. I'm praising him because he already opened doors. I'm praising him because he's already kept my mind. Don't act like God ain't. He says, bless the Lord, oh my soul. All right, I can't say this at no other service, Joe. So I said at this one, they too young at the other service. They may not know this. They rap crazy, okay? The new school rap, I like the way it feel. I just don't know what they say. It's just too fast. But it feel good. It's a vibe. I just don't know what they saying. Old school rap, you knew what they were saying. They would say, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose. Then he was psycho. See, you knew what he was talking about. See, LL Cool J, to me, rapped Psalms 103. The LL Cool J, after he had been gone for a while and people were saying he wasn't who he was, he said, y'all must have forgot. Y'all don't hear what I'm talking about. And 3 of y'all gonna leave here today with a new pep in your step because you're gonna have a conversation, Michael, with yourself. That's why y'all be trying to figure out, why do he be saying his own name when he be preaching? Somebody stopped me in the last city. Why you be saying your name like that? I said, because I was in a pandemic and I didn't have a church. And I was so programmed to hearing somebody say, preach, preacher. And for the first time in my life, could nobody encourage me. So I decided I would just encourage Michael. Every now and then you gotta shout your own name out and be like, Lisa, bless the Lord. Oh my. Put this in your notes. And forget. It's on the screen. It's on the screen. And forget not. If gratitude is recognition, can you put this in your notes? The enemy's job is simple. If I cannot stop God from blessing them, I will blind them so they never see it. It's very simple. If gratitude is recognition, it's not reaction. That's what I'm trying to get you to realize. If you waiting to give God gratitude, then you're gonna be waiting a long time. Gratitude is not reaction, it is recognition. In other words, what I'm telling you, baby girl, is it's some good stuff around you. You just can't see it. If I cannot stop God from blessing them, I will blind them so they never see it. The enemy can't stop God from blessing you. What does he do, Pastor Mike? It's on the screen. So he attacks your memory, your focus, and your perspective to keep you from seeing, Michael, what God already did. We having church today. Oh, we having church today. The enemy can't stop God from blessing you. So he attacks your memory, your focus, and your perspective to keep you from seeing what God already did. So what does he do, PMJ? I may not get past this part today. We'll finish it this week. He attacks your memory. If he can corrupt your memory, he can control your mood. That's good right there. That's good. If he can corrupt your memory, he can control your mood. That's why Psalms 103:2 says, forget not, at the second time he says it, all of his benefits. Why would God keep telling his people to remember and do not forget if there was not a real enemy working to make them forget? Did you catch that? I want to be very clear. The devil is working overtime to get you to forget how good God has been to you. That's why your painful memories are more vivid than your good ones. That's why you remember the mean coworkers more than you remember the joy of getting the job. That's why you remember the stress of the relationship more than the bliss of the relationship. Why is that, PMJ? Because he attacks your memory. Number one, he attacks your memory through busyness. He attacks your memory through busyness. This is good. You live so fast that you never pause to process. Let's make these screens a lot bigger for the next service team, okay? So he attacks your memory through busyness. So what does that mean, PMJ? Put it on the screen. You live so fast that you never pause to process. You live so fast that you never pause to process. So what does that mean, Pastor Mike? You rush from one answered prayer to the next. I didn't do that right. I want to say that better for your notes. You rush from one answered prayer to the next problem. You don't pause to process what God has done. So God opens a door for you, and then you're on to the next situation you need him to fix, instead of stopping to realize how he just fixed what you was just stressing over. Are you hearing me today? This is really good. So hear me when I say this. Here it is. You move from one breakthrough to the next battle. So your life is blessed, but your mind is blank. A powerful biblical picture of living so fast you never pause to process is Martha in Luke 10:38-42. It's on the screen. But the Lord answered and said to her, Martha, Martha, you are worried and bothered about so many things. Look at verse 42. But only one thing is necessary. For Mary has chosen the good part, which shall not be taken away from her. Martha loved Jesus, but she was moving too fast to notice him. She wasn't in sin. She wasn't in rebellion. She was just busy. She was doing a good thing, but going at such a pace that she missed the God moment. Did you hear what I just said? She's doing a good thing, but she's moving at such a pace that she misses the God moment. Jesus never said her serving was wrong. He was checking her speed. Jesus never said her serving was wrong. He was checking her speed. I'm gonna say this, and three of y'all gonna receive it if you hear me in the spirit. Your problem ain't what you doing, it's how fast you moving. I don't think you heard what I just said. Your problem isn't what you're doing, it's how fast you're moving. See, Martha represents people who, put this in your notes, pour out so much. Pour out so much that they never get poured into. Let's put all of those on a separate slide next service, okay? So Martha represents people who pour out so much that they never get poured into. That can preach the three of y'all. My sermon almost over. I got baptism today. I can't preach the whole sermon because the two other services won't get it, so I got to keep everybody on the same curriculum schedule, okay? So Martha represents people who pour out so much, but they never get poured into. I used to feel like it was a badge of honor that I did all of the pouring until I realized I was empty. I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna say this again. Whoever went and bought some juice from the stove and the juice hit? Anybody? I'm talking about the juice hit. All right, the juice hit. All right, I'm gonna take y'all way back, okay? All right, the juice ain't hit if you had to screw the top off. I'm talking about that juice where you had to open it like a milk carton. The millennials don't know what I'm talking about. Who know what I'm talking about? You open it like a milk carton, then you made that little triangle, then you went like this, and then you had to close that thing back, and the red juice you can kind of see it all over the little white carton thing, and you put that thing back in the refrigerator. See, I ain't talking about y'all new school juice. See, because y'all new school juice come in clear bottles. All right, no, see, there are two types of people. Some of y'all are clear bottle people. Some of y'all are old carton people. See, the clear bottle people, everybody around you can tell you running low because you tell them and show them everything. Some of us are so guarded that people don't know we empty till they try to come get something else from us. And what do people do with empty cartons? They throw them away. So you end up frustrated because you like, I poured myself out for you, and now that I ain't got nothing else to give you, you just gonna discard me when God has said, I am sending people who can replenish your spirit. Am I preaching to anybody? Martha represents people who pour out so much that they never get poured into. Next slide, okay? Watch this. Martha represents people who carry responsibilities without giving themselves recovery. Martha represents people, thank y'all so much, who carry responsibilities without giving themselves recovery. I'm gonna say this, I wish I had time to unpack all this, okay? I am so proud of you for how much you carry. But the question now has to be asked, when are you gonna recover? I thought Mason tore his knee up this time last year in February. We thought he tore his knee up. We had a 7-on-7 camp, and he's running, and every parent know their child. You done seen your child play enough that he was running, boom, he missed the ball. All of a sudden he went, and I never forget, he just did this. All he did was this right here. Then I saw him lip a little bit. I kept seeing him shake. I said, hey. I yelled on the field, hey, come here. On the field, I said, come here. Like, what's wrong? No, he tried to wave me off. I'm like, no, come here. I said, what's wrong? He's like, nothing, just feel a little weird. I said, look at me in my eyes. I said, we're not gonna play this game. Don't lie to me. I'm the only person in the world gonna protect you. Are you hurt? He's like, something don't feel right. I said, go sit down. Boom, all right, boom. So then we leave, and I can see the eyes watering, all right? I done been through this so much, I just asked him one question. Did you hear a pop? I didn't hear a pop, Dad. I said, did you hear a pop? No, okay, boom. All right, let's go home. It's hurting, we icing it, we giving them pain medicine. It never swells. That's a good sign. I'm like, okay, boom. I called Dr. AG, I said, we need to come see you ASAP, man, something going on, it's my baby. But when we get there, Mason had something called runner's knee. Okay, Pastor Mike, what's runner's knee? He had been playing, he would train 3 days a week, practice 3 days a week. Then when we get to the tournament, he's doing offense, defense, nonstop. He had worked that knee so much, it was just extremely sore. He said, does he recover? I said, when we come home, he rests. He said, no. He said, I want you to buy this right here, put his legs in this after every practice. He need to recover. Do he do ice baths? He said, you do know LeBron spent $1 million a year on recovery? And it made me think about the same way he was overworking his knee. Are you overworking your peace? Are you overworking your patience? You are now having to use your gifts in stuff that you shouldn't have even been in. So by the time a real battle show up, you ain't even got enough energy to do what God called you because you're doing what you want to. I don't think you heard what I just said. You don't have enough energy to do what God called you because you're always busy doing what you want to. Y'all didn't hear what I said? You so busy doing what you want to that by the time it's time to do what God called you, you feel like you ain't got no more want to. So you spend all your energy in conversations you shouldn't be in. You spend all your energy running to the aid of people who are gonna be in the same place next year. You spend all your energy prophesying to people who won't even receive the gift. You spend all your energy interceding for people who could actually pray for themselves. So when now God calls you into ministry, you ain't got nothing left because you've been busy. Martha represents people who work for God without sitting with God. Martha represents people who stay busy, listen to me, so they don't have to feel what's going on the inside. Sometimes staying in motion becomes a coping mechanism. This is good. This is really good. Let's define coping mechanism, then I'm gonna give you my definition. The definition of coping mechanism is the habits, behaviors, or thought patterns we use to deal with stress, pain, disappointment, or pressure. Take really good notes. I only have 2 more pages. See, I can't preach the whole sermon to y'all, then 11:30 be like, he ain't preach that, you gotta do baptism. So everybody gotta get a half a sermon today. No, but this is really good. What's a coping mechanism? Look at this. It is the habits, behaviors, or thought patterns we use to deal with stress, pain, disappointment, pressure. And it's not always toxic. Sometimes they're healthy, sometimes they're harmful. Pastor Mike, what's the coping mechanism you have in your life, honestly, when stuff gets stressful? I play PlayStation. I know that sounds so funny, but every time I've ever needed to hear God, I was playing the game. I cut the volume down. It's like my family even know it. I get on the game and I just play, no music. I don't even hear the sound. I just start playing. And it's almost like clockwork. It's like my brain shut off and I just start hearing stuff. What's another coping mechanism that's not harmful? I like going to water. You know, I go to Gulf Shore or somewhere and we just get on that water, we just sit there and I get to thinking. What's another coping mechanism you have that might be harmful? I eat. I coped this week. I found a place. I had a lot of stress on me and messed around, and the devil out of nowhere, DoorDash just sent like a thank you. DoorDash ever just pop up on your notifications? It was just like, don't forget 15%. I was like, oh, I clicked it. And it was some type of whiskey burger place. I think that's the name of it, Big Whiskey. And they had like a goddamn chili cheese jalapeno hot dog. Y'all ain't seen that yet? They had like a jalapeno hot dog with a special sauce on it. And I sat down, I was like, you know all the stress I'm under? That must have been God that made me. I ordered 2 of them things with some chili cheese fries. Ask me what I did when they got there. Then I'll go on TikTok and I see the lady eating the. So I took the chili cheese fries, put that on top of the hot dog. I squished it together. I started coping. Now let me show you what's funny. Yours may be weed. I be setting y'all up so smooth. Y'all be like, ha, ha, ha. Yours may be, I need to get a drink. Yours may be, I'm gonna go buy me something, knowing you got bills. See, they're all harmful. Yeah. See, diabetes gonna get me if I don't stop. Weed is illegal. Alcohol, you can become drunk. You wasting your money to feel better when you know you got bills. We all use different things to cope. Either way, they're what we run to when life get heavy. So what's PMJ's definition? A coping mechanism is the strategy our soul adopts to survive a season it was never meant to live in permanently. That's heavy. That's heavy. A coping mechanism is the strategy our soul adopts to survive a season it was never meant to live in permanently. It's the bridge we build to get through a moment of pain, but it becomes a burden when we make it a lifestyle. You wanna know the most harmless coping mechanism I have that can become harmful? My kids. When I get low, I just love being around. Like, I can't explain the joy. I wouldn't want to do anything else in the world. Riding 3.5 hours with Mason in the van, and we going to school, and he's just in there sleep. I just watched him sleep. I had fun just watching him sleep. Just watching this big old boy. I started going through my phone like, how did this little dude become this big old boy? And you just start going through your phones and going through different things like that, and you're looking at stuff. So then we get there, and I record everything. And he get out the van and we walk in, and then we get there and he just walking around like, man, look at that. We looking at the college stuff, and we get to the football thing and we get to the line. And so now I'm teaching him how to be independent. I said, when we get to that table, I'm not talking. You got to talk. They're going to ask you, you stand there, you do so-and-so. I'm going to stand over here. You tell me, hey, Mason McClure, got my father with me, got Kawan Mitchell with me, so-and-so, so-and-so. We get our little name back. I'm just watching. And then we get on the game. See, me and like all my kids, we got different, me and Mace, we get on that game. Me and Mike, we talk bowling. Me and Xander just trip out. We went to a football game Friday, just me and Xander just watching the game. See, that's harmless. It becomes harmful when now I override their world so I can feel good. When you in their relationship too much because you scared you gonna lose them. What am I trying to show you? Anything that's harmless, if overdone, can be harm. So what am I trying to get you to realize? PMJ's definition, a coping mechanism is the strategy our soul adopts to survive a season it was never meant to live in permanently. Coping mechanisms don't always scream sin. Sometimes they whisper substitution. So technically I'm on that game, and being on my game ain't a sin, but I am subconsciously substituting prayer for the game. The game for prayer. See, it's substitution. So what really happens is I'm